Hey everybody, Scott here for the Helix channel. It is Tuesday, and this week I am doing tutorials all week. Well, tutorial today. Tomorrow, I visit my oncologist again. It's been 4 months since my last visit, so we'll see what's up. I'm also doing Name That Riff tomorrow. Probably doing some tutorial action as well, and also a tutorial on Thursday. Free set Friday on Friday. That's my week. Come, enjoy it with me. Today, the little tutorial that I'm going to show you is using multiple IRs throughout presets and snapshot enabling them so that you can have different IRs on the different snapshots. And what better way to show that than with some of the new 8-snap presets from the 8-snap preset package that I just finished, because I've never used so many goddamn IRs in a single preset in my motherfucking life. Shall we? All right, I'm starting off with a completely fresh preset. The only thing it's got going on is a couple of IRs. And I want to assign some different IRs to every single snapshot. Really easy. For snapshot 1, say I want a Fender 5A. Now, to enable this, there are 2 ways to do it. Press in on the button and turn it to the right or left. In this case, I could only turn it to the right because there's nothing else to the left. So we have set up the top snapshot. Say for this one, I want a Vox. Press it in, turn it to the right. I want a Vox 3A. Now, save the preset. Anytime you're working within the snapshots and you go to another snapshot, you will lose everything that happened when you switch. The way that I have it set up. And that is when you go into the global settings and go into preferences over here. My snapshot edits are set to discard. And I like that because it keeps me honest as far as saving my stuff anytime I change between the snapshots. It's become a habit and I don't mind it at all. And it just, keeps things working and I don't forget. So now that we are in snapshot 2, we want different ones. Say I want Bad Cat down there, blah 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 up here, whatever you want. Save it. Now when you go back between them, I've got the Fender and the Vox, the Bad Cat and the Bad Cat. Now, the other way you can do this without pressing in is you can go to Controller Assign, IR Select, set it to Snapshots. It does the same thing as pushing in the button and turning it. There are always multiple ways to do just about everything on the Helix, which is great. I really appreciate that because, when my joystick stopped working, there were ways around it. I could still use it. It just, is much easier to use with the joystick rotary function. That was the problem. But yeah, this is a really simple thing to do, and it enables you to have so much sonic control. And if you've got a lot of IRs to choose from and you make presets the way that I do that allow for a lot of information, let's go back to one of my favorites, the Orange, as I like to call it. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff going on IR-wise, and I've set it up to have on the acoustics, whoops, not the amp model, a couple of Collings IRs, and for the cleans, I like High Watt 5 and Bad Cat, and then other clean, same thing. Low gain, things change. High gain, things change again. And it gives me a lot of control within a single preset. And I'm able to play a ton of different songs with this one single with this one preset. This Clean 2 is great for 80s songs with a clean chorused out sound. The Cure, it's good for that. It's good for Tears for Fears. It's good for all kinds of stuff. The low gain is really good for 70s classic rock like Rebel Rebel and what's that other song? God damn it, by David Bowie. I forget. Ziggy Stardust. That's the one. So, and then the high gain, great for other 80s rock stuff like Rebel Yell, you know, rock things. The acoustic things I'm using less and less just because without the Variacs, my acoustic sounds aren't that great, but I still do use, for the song Faith, I use acoustic too, and I'm contemplating getting a Parker Fly, so that would actually really make these sound a lot better, having a piezo pickup. But you don't need one. I just want one, all right? So there's that. All right, today I also received a request to demonstrate a guitar technique, and I'm not much of a teacher. I'm going to warn you right up front. I tried it back in the 80s and then again in the 90s, and just, I had no patience for people that couldn't hold a C chord. I'm telling you. Anyway, the request I got was demonstrating some vibrato techniques. I do, let me put this on a clean channel. I use a few different vibrato techniques, and when I'm playing single notes, most of the time I will just rock the finger back and forth like that. So the mechanism that's going on there is you're just, you know, and I don't have what you would call classical technique or good technique even, because a lot of times I'll take my thumb off the neck altogether when I'm, you know, doing some vibrato, and I'll just do stuff like, you know, things like, my thumb just comes off altogether. It just, I need it there to get the chord, but then once I start to vibrate it, it's better to have it off for me. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, the mechanism behind the standard vibrato for me is just rocking back and forth. And it can help to do that along with a metronome so that you're not, you know, making, you know, giving the blues instead of playing the blues. You don't want to give people the blues when you play them. You want to, you know, subtly, or if you really want it, you know, a big metal vibrato. But it helps to, at least it helped me originally, was to play along with a metronome and just. And I did things like that, like playing the notes in a scale, like say an E major scale. Oops, I fucked up already. See, I've got different vibratos for different fingers. The first finger does the classical rocking. Not classical, I mean the classic rocking. Sort of like the B.B. King thing, but less, you know, less exaggerated. Where the hand just rocks back and forth. But when I use my third finger, I'm pulling it or pushing it. Usually I don't go this way though. I usually pull it down when I'm just, you know, putting some vibrato on it. I don't go up. But, you know, you can. And when I'm using the third finger, I'm just basically anchoring the thumb and pulling. It's like, you know, it's half of a half step usually, the range of the bend in the vibrato, because you're bending the string, but you're, you know, bringing it back, you know, to pitch rapidly. If you had a strobe tuner, you could, you know, measure it, but I do not. The other vibrato that I do is do it with chords. You can also do that Steve Kimmock style. And this is just pressing down and moving back and forth. So you can also brace the finger with other fingers. I find that helps when you're doing this style of vibrato. Having a single finger there, you know, in a lot of situations you don't have a choice, but if you're playing, you know, up a scale and you have other fingers to support it, it can make it easier. It's a good way to start if you're, you know, new to this particular type of vibrato. And then move on to multiple strings. Then add a third, 2 triads. Oops. It's more difficult the further down you get towards the bass notes when you add more strings. Doing a full 6-string chord is not the easiest thing in the world. It's hard to bar and vibrate at the same time. It's easier to do a closed chord, you know, like the Jimi Hendrix chord. Oops. Stuff like that. I hope that's helpful. I'm a shitty teacher, so you get what you pay for. There you go, everybody. Good time, fun. I will be back tomorrow with news from the oncologist and name that riff. Ooh, almost forgot. So, the 8 Snaps preset package is still available. You can click on the link in the description, and I'll email it to you personally, along with acoustic IRs, so you can, you know, have them and enjoy them. It's a good time. So, I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, rock on.